So moving to today's agenda, so I would like to if any one of you have like any doubts from the previous session for what we discussed about the Salesforce and cloud computing and all.
No.
Okay. Okay. So today's agenda is we will be discussing upon Salesforce platform, for the custom application for on the Force.com platform. We will be discussing about the building blocks for Force.com, and I will show you the company profile license types in the Salesforce practical wise. So you will be getting more information on that, and also we will be seeing the user license in the developer org. So what developer free account we are using. So where we can see that the what type of account it is. We will be discussing upon, and we will be discussing upon page layouts, object limits, and system overview of Salesforce. So how many workflow rules are active, how many profiles are there, rules are there. So in the system overview we can see, and also we will be discussing about the types of sandboxes for the testing purpose, which requires admins and developers to test the applications. And last, we will be discussing about the MLC model, so model view controller. So we will be discussing about all these things. So let's start. So overview of Salesforce platform. So I think all of you have this developer account. If not, let's create. Okay. So now it's clear, right? So you can also go into the quick find box. You can see the profiles. You can see the manage users and all. So all the users are there. So if you like, for example, if you are working upon some profiles like some dummy profile you want to practice upon, so you can create another account also. So you can give them the standard user, but the system admin is only one at a time. So let's talk about the Salesforce platform. Uh, the Force.com environment has built-in database, user-friendly graphical user interface, business logic layer, and solid multi-layered security model. So talking about the business logic layer, so let's take uh, building the process builders. So actually building the logic, like for example earlier. Salesforce admin does not have any like prior point and click procedure to develop the applications, but now Salesforce has a good platform of like process builders, workflow rules, wherein we can easily automate the business process. For example, in the previous class I talked about the opportunities. For example, if the opportunities is greater than 50,000 million, 5,000 million, and may it be any number, so it will we can create that. We can actually write the a scenario there. So if the opportunity is greater than 5 million or 50,000 million, so it is won or lost. So we can easily automate that by writing the code, like by the help of point and click. And talking about the multi-layered security model, so uh, about the security model we will be discussing like while doing the practicals and all, because on the theory wise I will tell you. So Salesforce has so many of securities field level security, org level security, and object level security. So this type of security Salesforce manages. Basically field level security is for profiles and permission sets, and object level security is for profiles, and record level security is for may it be role hierarchies, organization wise default, apex sharing, manual sharing, and so on. So basically talking about the security model of Salesforce. So I earlier talked about in the last class. So Salesforce has the best security model that I have come across. So we will be discussing more into that. And after this class, I will give you the videos to watch upon the security model to get more idea, and also the notes. And also I have some prepared some notes about how to add the logos in Salesforce, like how to build a small application. So I have created the step by step in like Word file. So I will be giving you in the WhatsApp or email you, so you can just practice and hands on that. And coming to that, all Salesforce API. So it has a very good API functions in the Salesforce.com. And talking about the data-driven, data-centric applications with objects and fields, which are typically RDBS products, MX Access, Oracle. For example, in the earlier college days, or in the earlier class, any work experience, we have come heard the word about database like RDBMS, SQL, MX Access, Oracle, and all. So it is same, like Salesforce operates on the same system. May it be like objects or fields. And the fourth point is metadata is stored in the same database, and it's get auto upgraded 3 times in a year. So upgrading 3 times in a year, for example, like small bugs, there is small changes in the environment in the Salesforce, so it gets automatically upgraded in like summer, winter, and spring in the 3 editions. And it has multi-tenant and metadata driven architecture. So we have already discussed this multi-tenant and metadata driven architectures, uh, taking the examples of an apartment, multi-story apartment of people living uh, with 26 flats and sharing the shared ratios of electricity and water bill. So it is all about the Salesforce platform. So uh, coming to the like practical part, when we will be doing actually building the our first custom application, and building our like working upon the field and relationships, page layouts, uh, and data modeling part. So we will be learning more. So it's just a start. So we will be learning more and more about how to build the custom application, how to get more familiar with the GUI of Salesforce platform. And talking about the testing environment, types of sandbox. So it's a testing environment, like for example, let's take the day-to-day example. If you are making some dish like palak paneer or matar paneer, anything. So before serving to the like family, and before serving to the like guest and all, so if someone comes to our house, so we need to check the salt, we need to check the masalas are proper or not. So likewise in the Salesforce also, before presenting to the client, before presenting to and submitting to the deployment production org, we need to check first whether the application or development has happened or not. For example, if we had come across working on the customer partner portal, and there is one pick list, and customer wants to add more pick list on that, so we can, as an admin, we can go simply into the uh, setup, and we can add the pick list into the, we can go to the custom objects, we can add the pick list to the that customer partner portal. And after that implementation, we can check upon in the sandboxes, and after the checking, we can create the test cases, and if the test cases are fine, so we can get on a call with the customers or clients. So after giving them the green signal, then we can deploy into production or not. So before making the final touch, we will be testing the our application and all. So there are 4 types of sandboxes in the testing perspective. So first one is developer, second one is developer pro, and third one is partial copy, fourth one is full copy. So coming on to the developer, so developer is like you can create multiple copies of your organization in separate. So first of all, let's define sandbox. So the multiple copies of your organization separate environments, for different, we can create it for different purposes, like development, testing, and compromising the data uh, without compromising the data, in the sense, uh, firstly we need to do in the sandbox. So Salesforce has two environment, like in production org and sandbox org. So it's a your sandbox org will be like in the testing environment. So whatever you are doing in the production, it will not hamper unless and until we will be implementing in the sandbox. So it takes one day refresh time, and no production data is involved in that. So it has the limit of 200 MB only to perform testing. So like I already told about the governor limits, if you remember. So Salesforce enforces governor limits, so no one can breach data integrity. So there is a limit of only 200 MB just to test. So that's why there is enforced governor limits, so no one can breach the data. So second one, you will come across the Developer Pro. So this is the sandbox actually used by the admins, developers, once the application is built, just to check for the testing purpose with metadata. So metadata is nothing but data about data. And in Developer Pro, no production data is involved. It has limit of 1 GB. So it also enforces the governor limits, which includes the configuration, all users, like Apex and metadata. So it depends upon what sandbox environment you are using, vice and versa, Developer or Developer Pro. So it depends upon the capacity, like 201 GB. And coming to the third one is partial copy. So it is little advanced. For example, it refreshes fast with simple production data. So it has the limit of capacity of 5 GB. Again, the governor limits come into picture. For example, 200 MB, 1 GB and 5 GB. So it includes the configuration, records, sample of selected objects, sandbox template support. So it depends upon what your organization is using. So I was working for the client, so I was using the full copy sandbox. So talking about the full copy sandbox, so it's a replica of your production organization. For example, some of you have used carbon paper. So whatever we write, like for example, if we write Sunday on the blank paper, if you put the carbon paper like behind that, so same Sunday will be replicated on the carbon copy of the next page. So full copy sandbox is like that only. So it includes configuration, Apex, metadata, records, sandbox template, history and chatter data. So for example, if you are changing A to B in sandbox, so directly going into the production, we can change the field objects based on the client requirement. So according to me, full copy is the best option for admins and developers to work upon, because it does not require any change sets, any other migration tools to do the testing work. So it's all about sandbox environment of Developer Pro, partial copy and full copy. So anyone wants to ask anything about that?
Yeah, Devendra, one doubt. Actually, when we are doing some issues like production support, so for example, we got one issue, there is a field change. Okay, the here interval time is refresh interval time is 29 days.
Yes.
So we need to wait for the 29 days, then we can refresh in the middle also.
No. We can yeah. That is the refresh time of the sandbox, but not your you can test every day, every hour. So it depends upon what is the deal signed with your client and or your organization. I was working with one of the US client, so every Thursday we were supposed to do the testing part, and also we need to deploy the things on set every week. like Thursday, like apart from the freeze period. So if Salesforce has the freeze period, so sometimes we are doing the changes but we cannot deploy into the production. So it depends upon the freeze period of Salesforce that provides, and also it depends upon what the deal is signed between the client and the customers.
Okay, it is not standard. It is organization level that freezing period is, right?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, fine.
But the small changes like customizing the tabs, like you wisely said that changing the fields, you can easily
Yeah.
do. You can easily do.
Okay, okay. Okay, fine.
So talking about the next model, like model view controller, and let's talk about MVC architecture of Salesforce. So it's a model view controller. So model. The model is responsible for managing, for example, the data of the application. It receives user input from the controller. Uh, let's take the example of online portal. So while filling the form in the online portal, I am also coming across, and you are also coming across. Like for example, you are filling the form, like you are selecting the city, New Jersey. So the state, the USA, the country code will be already be selected. So uh, it's a controller. So it depends on the dependent and controller field. Like for example, if I am selecting some dish from a restaurant, from a veg or non-veg. So if I'll select palak paneer, so it will directly take me to the veg. So it depends upon what is the controller field and what is the dependent field. So talking about the model, so model represents the it's a real world and provides the data to the view. If we need data from the database, then we can get it. So it's all about the database, Salesforce.com objects and the related elements. And talking about the view, so it's a user interface. So let me show you. Yeah, this is the view, like what we are seeing, and the backend running into that. It is like what we have created the application. So it is one of the application that I'm using for my reference, for my knowledge. So whatever happens in the background, whatever you can see is the database, is the model, and whatever you can see on your screen, like it's a view. Let's build the data. Like for example, I have created one application. I can go to new, like I can view the customers, GuruSchools. So we can select the customer status active. So the information is saved. Yeah, GuruSchools, you can see. So information is saved. So I have just created one application of like chemical equipment and processing, just for the my reference and study. So taking the name of GuruSchools, so I have created one add new item. So it's a database that I stored. So it is the model. So whatever we see on our screen is like view. And talking about the controller, like I told, while selecting the state New Jersey, Virginia, New York and all, so automatically the USA will come. So controller is like nothing like it respond to the user inputs based upon your performs interaction on based upon the data model objects. And the controller is also responsible to take the end user request and do the appropriate model in the for example, uh, it depends on what you feed. If I'm in India, so I'm selecting the city Maharashtra. Selecting the city, sorry, Pune, and it will automatically take the state Maharashtra. So it will in the backend data is running, database is running. So uh, without a hassle, we can select the city and all. And also talking about the MVC, like it's provides the front and back end of the database of the users, and also the separations of the software systems that simplifies development and separate maintenance. So it depends what view, what model we are working upon, and it depends upon the development and separate maintenance. So let's take the example of one restaurant, like a real time example. So let's suppose there is one restaurant in New Jersey, and some people are working in it, and some guys, some people or cooks who are expert cook, they work in kitchen, and the managers or the waiters who take order from the customers and write down the order on the tab or the piece of paper. It depends upon what they are using, paper or tablet. Now some customer comes into the restaurant. So firstly we have some expert cook in the kitchen, then secondly we have some managers or the waiters who is taking down the order on the piece of paper, and thirdly there will be customers, right, like you and me. So the guy who is going to take an order shows menu card. So if we visit to a restaurant and sit, so waiter will greet us, they will give us water, they will uh, greet us, welcome sir, welcome ma'am, to our restaurant. They will give us water, and they will, after, they will present us the menu card. And after that menu card, we will be saying what dishes, and we will actually interact with the managers, what is the today is Sunday, so what is special, what is special in your menu today. So based on that we can give the order. So now the scenario comes, the customers comes into the restaurant, and the guy who is taking the order, like managers or uh, waiters, shows menu card to the customer. Now customer is saying the menu card, and for example, let's take the example of poha, upma, chicken chili, paneer chili, etc. So these all things he sees on a menu card. Now customer would like to order a paneer chili. Then customer will imagine how paneer chili will look like. He will imagine. For example, uh, we are so curious about going to the restaurant and eating. So before ordering, chicken chili, paneer chili, and also we will memorize, and we will visualize that how it will look. So what chilies he will be, will it be spicy or not, will it be like tangy, sour or not. So it based upon our taste. So after taking the order from the customer, the manager gives the small token to the man who is sitting outside the kitchen. So uh, the man who is sitting outside the kitchen is acting like a controller in a model V controller. So actually he is controlling the things. So sorry. So actually he is controlling the things that is happening in the kitchen, in the restaurant. Sorry. So firstly, the restaurant is with the menu, he is with the manager, then the customer comes, then he will submit the that small piece of paper to the man sitting outside the kitchen. So he will deliver it to the kitchen person. So it acts like a controller. So the man who is cooking, the actual cook, is a controller. So this man gives the order to appropriate order cook for making the food ready. So after some time the cook will see the order, who is actually the controller, and try to make the food ready. So sometimes it happens like it's a chef special. So if he needs to some extra items like food like for example, if he orders a paneer chili, so he may make the Szechuan chutney, green chutney, garlic chutney. It depends upon like chef. Some chefs are like very good in presenting. So if only one chutney is coming with the paneer chili, so he can add more chutneys on him. And then he will visit the fridge. He will take the coconut to make the chutney by adding the water. Blah blah blah. It's their type of work. So after some time, the order of the customer is ready. Now the man who sits inside outside the kitchen, who has given that small piece of paper like waiter or manager. So they will call the waiter or serve the food to the customers. Now who ordered from the table number 1, 2, 3. Now waiter adds some items to make feel good, and like he had some, for example, if the waiter is serving the food, so he will be taking the big plate and he will put some candles, some flowers to actually to look the presentation. So actually the view is MVC. So view is like what controller, the chef, the cook, what has like paneer chili he has made. So actually it is the view. So what actually the client is seeing. So this was the example of real time example of taking the example of restaurant to understand the model view controller. So firstly, the customer will come to the restaurant, so there will be managers. So they will take the requirement of what he or she needs based upon the taste and type of the food, whether it is veg or non-veg. Then they will pass on to the kitchen. Then kitchen person, the cook expert, will cook the food, and then after cooking the food, he will add some flavors to that. And after adding flavors, he will call to the that person, waiter, that the food is ready, you can serve to the customers. And after that, customers will actually view it. So how paneer chili looks like, and it depends upon the different restaurants. Like if we go to some other places, like for example in India, we go to restaurants, so they have another type of like dishes. For example, if I eat paneer chili in some of the restaurants, so the paneer is very small. In some restaurants they are big. So it depends upon how they present and how they attract the customers. So uh, while seeing the paneer chili, the customers will view, and they will visualize, yes, this is our paneer chili and it is ready to eat and all. So this was example of model view controller. So it went very large, sorry for that, but I thought to explain in this way to just to get more information about that. So coming back to the SFDC system overview. So let me take you to practically. So system overview, here we can type system overview. So whenever I say quick find box or a find box, so sorry, so just remember that I am talking about setup. So in setup, we can easily go and we can find system overview. So here you can actually see what is your system is using. So for example, in my system currently in my org, so your custom objects plus your custom settings. So you can see actually how many custom objects are there in my schema, in my personal organization. Like for example, I have 8. So I keep practicing on my org. I have so many of accounts in Salesforce, so I keep for my reference in the trailheads to enhance myself in terms of development admin. So I keep on creating the custom applications like in my free time, just to get more hands on. So I have 8 custom application in terms of system overview. So total custom objects plus total custom settings, I have 81. So the data storage is 52 KB approx. So maximum it is 5 MB. All the system overview you can see here, and the business logic. Then the 10 rules I have. Let's click on that. So all the workflow rules you can see here, and the Apex Classic 347, Apex triggers 13, rules 13, 10, user interface 3, active flows, custom tabs, visual for pages. So all the information, system information you can see, licenses and all. So if someone sometimes in the interview, interviewer asks that how will you see the how can one can be known about a system overview. So you can simply say that we can go into the setup and we can type the system overview, and we can easily see how much our system is utilized. So we can easily see that. And coming up to the next, we have the custom object, custom setting, data storage, API request. So it all comes in the Salesforce building block force.com, and SFDC key building blocks. So Salesforce key building blocks are talking about the application. So again the MVC pattern is followed here. MVC layer, view, tabs. So tabs talking about the apps. App contains a set of related tabs, objects which are visible to end users, which helps the end user achieve some business functionality. So for example, if you are using some application, so like I have shown you the chemical equipment and processing. So in that only what custom tab I have created, it will show. So my application is chemical processing and equipment. So in that I have used three to four custom objects, and in that custom object application we can see that tabs. So it also compromises of object and layer records and model, and also the page layouts and objects. So whether it is a standard object or custom object. So this all will be seeing in terms of practical in the coming session. And also we will be discussing about the fields and relationship model. So what actually the field and relationship model? For example, talking about the child relationship, lookup relationship, roll-up summary, master detail relationship. For example, if we have created a master detail relationship between the two objects, so if the child is dependent on the master, if we delete the master, then the child will automatically will be deleted. If we delete the child, then master will be not hampered, because child is dependent on parent. So master detail relationship is a parent, and lookup relationship is a child. For example, if there is a one mall, so it's a master detail relationship. So there is for example, there is an employee. Let's take example, there are 6 employees. So 6 employees are dependent upon that mall, working upon that mall, and running that mall. So if out of 6, if 4 resigns and go away, then mall will not be hampering. If the mall will be closed, then the 6 will be hampered. So vice versa, it's an example of field and relationship or master detail relationship. So we will be coming across the visual pages, Apex trigger and classes. It's a development part, but we will get the overview and all. So after that we will be learning about just take the overview of company information. So sometimes it happens, some interviewer asks that about the company information. So he will ask that from where you can see your company information. So we can easily say that we can go into setup, we can see the company information. So in the company information, company information is Salesforce. Here you can see. And we can also edit as a system admin, we can edit it. So we can change the language. So it supports German, Spanish, French, Italian, Japanese. Swedish, Korean, Chinese, Dutch, Thai, Russian, and so on. So we can based on our requirement. So sometimes as a system admin, we come across like I was working as a system, like I am working as system admin, and sometimes it comes like it's a small change. For example, some request comes like my language is like German, so I need to change it to German. So they don't have any rights to change into German if they don't have any system admin rights. So as a system admin, we will be getting the request and we can change actually change the default language. For example, if the person is from Germany, so he will be comfortable with the German language. So easily in the setup in the company information, we can go and change the German language. So uh, so I already told that system admin is the king in Salesforce, so he can edit anything, so based on the client requirement. So right, so so many persons have Salesforce access. Like I was working with one of the client in the New York, so we had so many of users of Salesforce, but they don't have any system admin process. So I was hired as a system admin, so I was maintaining that user management part. I was maintaining the data. So if they face any difficulty in terms of uh, syncing their contacts, in terms of their changing the languages, in terms of their upgrade of access and all, so I was getting the request in the queue, my queue tickets, and I was resolving just from the point and click, because I was having that access, right? So if I'm having the access of a standard user, so I cannot work as a system admin. So we can actually rename the default language, we can change the time zone, we can also select the currencies. Like in the United States, dollar is there, so you can select the dollar. So based upon the client requirement, we can change. Then we have like developer edition, it's free for lifetime, right? So and also there is a question when I had given the interview of Salesforce admin, so there was a question that come across where you can find your additions. So you can simply say that in company information, there is a field called organization edition. So here you can find actually your developer edition. So if you log into Salesforce and if you go into the quick find box, and in the quick find box easily you can find the developer edition, so what is the instance. So and mostly you can see the who is modified. So my ID is Salesforce sailor, so I have modified it will show you the date, it will show you the time, it depends. And also the organization ID, this is the organization ID, double O D2V double 26 and OK. And here also, and now you can see the licenses, the Salesforce platform, customer, community login, work.com only, identity, silver partner, gold partner, and these are so many of licenses of Salesforce. And there are permission sets we will be talking about later in the classes. So while we will be discussing upon the security model of Salesforce. And also we can see the fiscal year, fiscal year. So we can set as per our needs, like fiscal year start month is January, so we can select based on the requirement. And also we can define the holidays, like yesterday only I have defined one holiday. Like we can edit and we can type the holiday name, we can type the description, date, and save. So let's create one new one. We can create like new, and that holiday name is Christmas. Description is Christmas, and date is 2020 25. So can save. Yeah. So we can also save our holiday details as a custom object. Like easily we can. So we can also add or remove business hours to holidays to suspend business hours and escalation rules during the holidays. So these all things we can do. We can also manage the business hours. It's a default, so we can edit also, and we can create the new business hour. So you can see I'm not doing nothing. I'm not I'm not writing a single line of code. Just it's a point and click configuration part we are doing. So later on the customization part. So we need to work with the custom objects. We need to work with the standard objects. We need to work upon the schema builder. So it's a bit complex, but we can learn it easily. Working upon the workflow rules. But this is all the as a system admin we are doing the configuration. We can also do the language setting, add or remove language from the available language list. Like for example, I want to remove German, so we can click on remove. I want to remove Japanese, can remove. So sometime also there is a requirement uh, comes from the client that please remove 2 to 4 languages from there are below 4 languages like German, Japanese, uh, Finnish and Russian. So I don't want into my system. So as system admin we can remove. We can easily click on select on that. We can click on this button remove add. So if we want to add then go electorium. Yeah, we can add also. So it's a, I'm not doing any coding and all, right? You can see. So it's just a configuration. So if we are good with the configuration, then you are done with Salesforce admin. So uh, you don't need to worry and don't need to scared of coding and all. So it's configuration that we are doing. So if we will be coming across the process builders and flows and workflow rules, then there is a bit more complex configuration that let practice makes a man perfect, right? So if we practice 2 to 4 times, 10 times, then we will be easily, like for example, taking the example of cricket match. If the batsman is uh, facing difficulty to face the bouncer, so he will in the nets he will practice for the bouncer. He will keep on telling the bowlers that please bowl me bouncer because I feel difficulty in hitting the pull shot. So he will keep practicing the bouncer. Then in the real time match he will hit the six on that bouncer. So it's a matter of practice that we all need to do. So get hands on the Salesforce. So company profile we discussed. Yeah. Now I'm showing you session setting. After the system overview, like after the fiscal year business hours and also I am showing you session setting. So in session setting, like there are 24 hours, 12 hours, 8 hours, 4 hours, 2 hours, 1 hour, 30 minutes, 15 minutes window. So force logout on session timeout. It means like for example, if I am using this org, right? If I'm using this org and there is some emergency, so I need to run without logging out. So here in the session setting, like in 15 minutes or 1 hour or 2 hour, we can set here. So automatically Salesforce provides the very good security purpose and automatically it will get logged out. So it depends upon what organization is using. So what requirement comes from the client to implement that. So I have selected 2 hours. For example, 2 hours if I leave my system here, so my Salesforce this org will be active for 2 hours, and after 2 hours it will already pop me message like I have disabled that disabled session timeout warning pop up. So if I'll enable that, so like it will show me error. Like when I will come after 2 hours, it will show like after logging out, it will show that your session is timed out. So we can really manage the session and all, and also we can see the login history and the managers like today India. Yeah, I have like my ID is sent to devcricket@gmail.com. So today I have logged in. So my source IP is this. My location is India. Application like I have logged in is successful. So we can download this all the information in the CSV files. So from what browser I am using, like if I am using Chrome, which platform I am using, like Windows 10 browser, login URL, post is the method, get method, post method, and all. So this information in the login history, if like for example you are working with some client like in New York client, and as there is some requirement, for example client gives you the alias name or the user ID of the particular user, and tell you to, as a system admin, tell you to find the like login history of that particular user. So you can simply go and as a system admin you can find the login history of all the users. You can download an CSV file, you can submit to the client. So it depends upon like what the requirement of the customers and client are. So here we can actually see the login history, who has logged in the like our system, or from where location India. So in your case, like you are operating from United States of America, so it will show USA. And let's talk about public groups. Yeah. So right now I'm not assigned to any public groups because of my personal log. It's like when I will be logged, like for example, if you're working for a company and you will logged in from the company's ID, you will be like so many groups, public groups. You will need to like add, adding on just to make sure the communication with the client and all. So just an overview of the profile. So profile, roles, permission sets and all. Just this is the just the overview I am discussing upon. But lately we will be creating the dummy profiles, and in the upcoming classes, and we will be discussing about the roles, hierarchies and all. So this is the all type of profiles we have. Yeah, you can here see my system admin profile, and all the profiles we have like marketing users, read only, silver partner user, system admin user. So we can also edit and clone it. So taking you to the uh, standard objects of Sales Cloud. Like in the first class, we have discussed about the Sales Cloud. So Sales Cloud has this all standard objects that Salesforce provide, like home, chatter, campaign, leads, accounts, contacts, opportunities, forecast, contracts, orders, cases, solutions, products, reports, dashboards. So these are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So these are all the standard objects that are provided by the Salesforce in perspective of Sales Cloud. So like for example, if we click on reports, so we can find reports like yeah, if you are a system admin, then you can go into the administrator user, administrator reports. You can find the new reports, like you can find new reports, like for example, and also you can see the dashboards in terms of Sales Cloud. And now we are discussing just an overview, and after that we will be going more deep dive into it, so how to create how to create reports, how to view the dashboards, how to create the dashboards and all. And coming back to the services, so services has like chatters, accounts, contacts, solutions, report, dashboards. So reports and dashboards you can find everywhere, like in Sales Cloud, Service Cloud, Marketing Cloud. So the main aspect of Service Cloud is cases. So for example, we can go into the cases, we can create the new cases, contact name, type, case, product. So based on the requirement of the client, sorry, so based on the requirement of the client you can create the cases. So till now, from the past two classes I haven't done any coding part, so it's just an overview, point and click. So taking you to the marketing. So marketing has chat, home, chatter, campaign, leads, contacts, opportunities, reports, and dashboard. So campaigns is the main standard object of marketing. We can create the new campaigns, recent campaigns, new campaigns, like campaign name. Like campaign name is, for example, let's take Trump election. It's trending now. Election. Type, webinar, status, it's planned. Start date we can select, like it's November 2, and date is 2. Yeah, so this is the campaign we have created. Like I'm just uh, creating this to just to make more in terms of clearing your doubts. So we have created one campaign like Trump election, just for sake of learning. So it's a our type is webinar. So in the COVID-19 we cannot gather together and we cannot like do the campaigning and all. So we have created the webinar. It's planned. So the election date is on 3rd of November in the US. So we can do the day before. So this all type of in the marketing we can create the campaigns. We can work upon the leads, contacts. So it depends upon what you are working like. For example, taking you to the sales. So we can create the the leads, new leads. So I'm not doing any coding part. So just it's all automated and coded. So it's just a configuration part we are working upon in Salesforce admin. So in the lead status we will be going, we have working contacted, like for example GuruSchools. So if someone will ask the training, so for BAQA, Scrum, Salesforce admin, Java full stack, .NET and all. So our recruiters or our like point of contact from the GuruSchools will reach you, and they will actually can create and see the lead status as working contacted. And for example, salutation, like Mr. Mrs. like Mr. Devendra has contacted for Salesforce admin. Like, for example, it depends upon what your requirement is, and you can act upon in Sales Cloud, Service Cloud, and Marketing Cloud.
Yeah, Devendra, one doubt here.
Okay.
In the drop down, that Sales Cloud, Service Cloud for system administrator will get, or is there any validation for that? Anyone?
No. Yeah, actually, you can see the Service Cloud, Marketing Cloud, app launcher, community site.com. Any standard user can see, right? But
okay.
Any
standard user.
Yeah, so anyone can see. Like for example, if I have developer account and I can see this is ABC College SMS Magic Converse chemical equipment and processes. This is all have I have created. So this all I have created. So as a system admin we can see, but for the standard users like service, marketing, community, app launcher, and site.com, Salesforce chatter, content. This is these all are like standard for all the users. May it be sales system admin or standard user. So sales cloud, marketing cloud, and service cloud, all the users can see. But as a system admin, you can edit and actually work upon the that.
Means I have to create now these in my developer account.
No, no, no. It is like if you have developer account, you can see like simply you can go and that you can select the service cloud, and it is like standard given by the Salesforce. So we don't need to create. So if something requirement is coming, like for example, I was creating this chemical equipment and processing just for my hands-on. So it is a custom. Tab. So I have created. So this is the application I have created. Like for example, let me show you. We will go into setup. We will. You can see here build apps, right? And we can go. We can click new custom app. There is also a console app, but as a system admin, we need to go into custom app. Custom app, like for example, GuruSchools.
This custom app is you are using already developed app, right? Application.
No, no, no. Don't take me wrong. Actually, this is the new custom app. Custom. See, there are two types of objects in Salesforce or application, like custom application and standard, like custom object and standard object. So standard if someone will ask you what is standard objects in Salesforce, so you can simply say that the objects which are provided by the Salesforce itself, like for example, you can see you can see accounts, contacts, you can see leads, opportunities, reports, dashboards. These are the standard objects provided by the Salesforce. But when we are creating any custom application or custom object, based on the client requirement, this is not called the standard object.
Okay.
Now you can see GuruSchools.
Yes.
Yeah, we can easily like build. We can easily like in setup this we will be learning like in the upcoming classes. But it was just an overview I was giving. So you can easily go in the setup. So GuruSchool is created. So while creating, like I have created like it is for learning purpose. So I have like included only cases tab. Cases tab, just an inquiry as a giving the services. So only cases tab I have like it. We can also customize it, and we can also add the more tabs into it. So yeah, like while selecting the GuruSchool application, we can see only the home and cases. So home is default for all, and if we click on ABC College, so we have faculties, we have student, we have courses, right? So based upon like your view, so GuruSchools have only cases. So just now in 1 minute or 2 minutes I have created just an overview. So later on we will be creating like firstly we need to we will be learning of.
Yes? I have doubt one. For example, right now we are at the app of sales, and once you are showing home, chatter, campaigns, leads, you said these are standard objects. So you also used the term tab. So is tab and standard objects is the same?
Yeah, these all are tabs only, right? Home, chatter. This we can like we call it tabs.
Okay.
Home tab, chatter tab, and campaigns, and like you can see that lead tabs, right? Tab is written, right? You can see on your screen, lead
Yeah.
tab. Yeah. So these tabs are like the standard objects. So these are provided by the Salesforce.
Yeah. So whatever we see by default, that is
Mhm.
been the what was that term?
Provided by the Salesforce.
Provided by the Salesforce, and the
Yes.
other one which we create will be the custom object, like
Yeah,
what we
like I will show you. Like for example, I have created one
whatever
ABC.
we create, whatever
Yeah.
we create would be that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So this is faculty tabs. Like for example, faculty. I will click on faculty. So I will click on new. So this is like I have created for my reference and learning.
Right.
So this tab I have created. Like for example, you can build any application. Like for example, you are uh, building any restaurant for menu.
Here on the
So
left side, the recent items which you created just a few minutes ago, Trump
yes,
election,
yes.
these are the apps, right? Custom apps.
Yes.
Okay.
Actually, not the custom app. Like for example, if we uh, access the laptop or any website, so recently visited, we see that option recently visited, right? So
Yeah.
Salesforce provide that I recently visited to Trump election. I recently visited to GuruSchools. So based on what we visited, it will show you.
Okay. Got it.
So there are so many things in Salesforce admin, like you can see here. So there are so many things in admin, like manage users. So in manage users, we will be learning about the users, mass uh, email users, roles, permissions. Like for example, I will click on roles, just an overview. Like this is the hierarchy of the roles: territory based simple, product based simple. So it depends upon like what is the organization need to set up the role and all. So we will be learning. So there are so many things apart from coding, there is all the configuration work that we will be learning on this course. So we are good with today. So if anyone have any questions, they can ask me. So it's a weekend and already night in US. So it's Monday in India. So what time for the next classes? What time will be? What day? Like you are comfortable? So it will like I can take on Monday or Tuesday. So
Monday suits good for me.
okay,
Yeah,
sure.
Monday is well.
Okay, okay, sure. So Monday, like we will discussing more upon. Like in the next classes, we will be discussing upon the Salesforce additions, and we will be creating the discussing about the roles and profiles. Actually, the security model of Salesforce. So we will be going step by step to understand, and also we will be building upon our custom applications. So I have created one step by step process of how to create the application, how to change the logo, and how to create the application custom object, and how to relate with the standard objects and all. So we will be discussing that. So any one of you have any doubts what we have discussed today? So we have discussed it was not more on the presentation slides, it was more on the practical side, because uh, like uh, having the slide and reading out the pointers doesn't matter, the really matters is what we actually develop and what we actually work as a. So working on the configuration and the customization part will help you to get a good understanding about the Salesforce, but not on the theoretical part from my understanding. So theory is just a knowledge to uh, get. So for example, if you are giving the interview, so in the while giving the interview, they will not ask who. So they will firstly ask what is Salesforce. So you will tell that it's a CRM and it's a customer relationship management to that which runs on cloud, and it's trending. And also then second onwards, question onwards, they will ask you the login IDs, how to maintain the login flows, how to maintain the IP, how to restrict the IP ranges, how to restrict the session flows, and they will ask you like uh, what do you understand by leads, what do you understand by opportunities, and also they will ask about the roles and profiles. So for example, there is hierarchy in the company: managers, agents, team leads and all. So manager is above the hierarchy, so lead will be able to see his record or not. So obviously he is in the below hierarchy, he will not be able to see the records. But sometimes as a system admin we come across some scenarios that leads should see the records of managers, but in that case we will be implementing the Salesforce security like manual sharing. uh, so manually he can share the records based on the needs of the organization. So we will be learning more into the security part. So if you are best with the security model, learning playing with the roles, profiles, permission sets and all, you are good with this. Like 70% of the 70 to 80% in the Salesforce admin exam, in the interview, the interviewer will ask you about the security model. If you are very good with the security model, then no one can stop you to get a job, believe me. Because Salesforce system admin is more dependent on the security of Salesforce. So he will be maintaining the data security on all. So reports and dashboards are like important parts, and it's the heart of any organization. But the security is so if you are clear with the term security model in Salesforce, then you can easily crack any interview or any certification. So security model, we have I have one blog which I am following, and I have learned, and I have made some notes about the security model. So we will be discussing upon in the next classes, and also we will be creating our custom application along with the workflow rules and process builders. So validation rule, assignment rules, and web assignment rules, case escalation in terms of service cloud, sales cloud, marketing cloud. So these all things we will be discussing in the upcoming classes. So there is a lot of learning. So you need to spend time more and more practicing and watching the videos, and getting hands on the Salesforce organization, like org, and more into more or less I have prepared one document of Salesforce, uh, like a guide. So I will provide you today or tomorrow. So I am preparing that. So 10% is remaining, so I will give you that. So you can easily go to the links, and you can easily uh, see the videos in YouTube's, so we can discuss the doubts in the classes. And also the documents you can refer for your reference, just to read on the theoretical basis. So on the practical wise we will be doing on to the uh, classes. So from the next classes, one female trainer is also joining. So we will be two. So we can split our topic sessions, and we can easily guide you through. Thank you.